My name is Rachel Miller. I'm a 42-year-old woman, a mother, a wife, and someone who never anticipated being caught off guard in her own home, especially by my stepson. Life has its own mysterious ways of unfolding, and the gesture he made that day will remain with me always. I married David Miller 8 years ago. At the time, he was a single father raising a 9-year-old boy named Ethan. I'll admit, integrating into a new family wasn't easy. Ethan was polite but reserved, careful not to become too attached to me. Understood. I never tried to impose a maternal connection on him. I just wanted to be there, dependable and constant. Over time things smoothed out. Our home settled into a tranquil rhythm. Morning breakfasts, school drop-offs, holidays that started feeling like traditions. Still, Ethan always called me Rachel, never Mom, and I never asked for more. David was a good man, strong, responsible, a great provider, but he worked a lot. He managed a logistics company and was frequently away on business trips that left me home with Ethan more often than not. I took care of things around the house. Groceries, bills, cooking, and occasionally helping Ethan with homework if he asked. As the years passed, Ethan matured from a quiet little boy into a thoughtful, intelligent young man. Yet, there was always a certain distance between us, something I didn't attempt to cross then. Then came the summer of Ethan's senior year in high school. David had just departed on a 2-week trip to Seattle for a major corporate conference. It was just Ethan and me at home. I planned to keep things simple. Pizza nights, some movies, and maybe catch up on gardening. What I didn't foresee was Ethan initiating anything beyond the usual hey, or thanks for dinner. But something shifted that week. Began with small things. He started assisting me more willingly. One evening, I was carrying a heavy basket of laundry downstairs, and he intervened without a word and took it from me. Another day, I found the dishes already cleaned when I came down from a late afternoon rest. One morning, he brewed coffee and brought it to me on the patio where I liked to read. He didn't say much, just smiled and sat beside me with his own cup. I was surprised, pleasantly, but I didn't make a big deal of it. Teenagers have moods, and sometimes they're simply in a good space. But the biggest surprise arrived toward the end of the week. It was a Friday evening. I had spent most of the day thoroughly cleaning the living room and organizing boxes that had been sitting in the garage for years. By the time I collapsed onto the sofa, I was exhausted. My hair was messy, my clothes dusty, and my feet ached. I was considering ordering some takeout when Ethan walked in with a canvas bag. "I got something for you," he said. I looked up, startled. "For me?" He nodded. "Yeah, you've been doing a lot. Thought you deserved something nice." He pulled out a small box from the bag and handed it to me. It was a hand cream set with lavender and rosemary scents, my favorite. I didn't even recall mentioning that to him. I opened the box slowly, touched by the gesture. I smiled, but my throat tightened. "Ethan, thank you," I said quietly. He shrugged, but I could tell he was watching for my reaction. "You always do so much for Dad and me. I guess I just wanted to say thanks. I know I'm not always expressive, but you're important, Rachel." I was stunned into silence. Those words meant more than I could articulate in that moment. I reached over and touched his arm gently. "That means a lot to me, really." He smiled a little awkwardly, then stood up. "I'll order some Chinese food. Your favorite, right? Orange chicken." I nodded, and he left the room, leaving me there holding that little box like it was gold. I never expected that kind of appreciation from Ethan, not because he was impolite. He never was, but because he had always been reserved. That night we ate dinner together, laughed over a comedy special, and talked for hours. It was the most comfortable I had ever felt with him. We were no longer just polite cohabitants. We were family, finally in sync. The next day, I woke up to a clean kitchen. He had made breakfast, eggs, toast, and even cut up fruit like I used to do for him when he was younger. He left a note beside my plate. "Hope you like it. Thanks for being there." David came home 3 days later. I recounted everything to him, and he was deeply moved. "He's growing up," David said, "and he clearly sees you for who you are. I couldn't be more grateful." After that week, things changed for good between Ethan and me. We shared more moments. Sunday afternoon walks, trips to the bookstore, and quiet conversations about college, relationships, and dreams. When he got into college out of state, I helped him pack. On his last day at home, he hugged me tight, longer than ever before. "You're more than a stepmom," he whispered. "You've been like a second mom to me." "Thank you." I held back tears, just nodding. "You've always been my family, Ethan. Always." Now, as I sit here reflecting on that unexpected gesture, the moment when my stepson reached out in a way I never anticipated, I realize that some bonds take time, patience, and quiet consistency. Love doesn't always arrive with fireworks. Sometimes it's a simple bottle of hand cream, a warm cup of coffee, or a handwritten note that unlocks the door to something deeper. Ethan still texts me from college. Just last week, he sent a picture of a new book he picked up saying, "Thought you'd love this one." Smiled. We're connected now in a way that only time, effort, and genuine kindness can create, and it all began with an unexpected gesture, one that reminded me that family isn't always about blood. Sometimes it's about the moments that catch you off guard and remind you that you're seen, valued, and loved.